Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. DStyleBoxing here. Hit that notifications button. That way you're notified every time DStyleBoxing comes out live. Hit that thumbs up button to help support the channel. Also, if you're watching an archive, leave a comment and tell me what you think. All right, well, we'll go to the chat in a little bit, but let's first talk about this. So WWE, that's World Wrestling Entertainment. Yes, this is a wrestling video. Okay, announces that there will be a women's Royal Rumble. All right, and I have some thoughts about this, about the reaction to this, things I like, things I don't like about this. So we're going to talk about it, but let's first do this. I'll wait a little bit here, but we're going to go ahead and play Stephanie McMahon talking about this. All right, now I do not own the content. This content does belong to WWE, but I'll be providing, commentary about it. All right, so give me a break. Please don't flag it. I don't want to go to the trouble of I played 2 seconds of an irrelevant song now with $1 Million Man, and it took away the AdSense from it. It's insane. It's okay, though. Listen to this.
3 years ago, a revolution started in the WWE, led by all of the women in this ring, all of the women on SmackDown Live, and every single woman to ever step foot inside the squared circle, including the fabulous Moolah and the great Mae Young.
Let's stop there for a moment, Steph. Okay. The revolution couldn't have started 3 years ago if you're including Mae Young in it. Okay, she was wrestling in the 50s, all right? 40s and 50s. But anyway, details.
And all of you turned that revolution into an evolution. Because of you, the Divas division became the women's division. You became the superstars and the headliners, main eventing just like the guys. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT pay-per-views, and blowing the roof off the joint. Because of you, we had the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match, the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and just 2 weeks ago, women competed inside the ring in the Middle East for the first time in WWE.
Because of you. Like, what? It sounds like that. What song is that? Dal, or what's the name of that singer? That's what it just sounds like. Anyway,
women's championship match. And what was the chant, Sasha? The chant was, "This is hope." You saw tears in the eyes of little girls ringside because you inspired those little girls. All of you have inspired people all over the world with your courage, with your passion, with your unbridled talent. But that's not enough. What do you say, ladies? You make history once again. Do you people want to see these women make history once again? Then on January 28th, the road to WrestleMania kicks off in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we will have, for the very first time, an all-women's Royal Rumble match.
Well, there you go. An all-women's Royal Rumble match, as announced by Stephanie McMahon. Interesting. Here are my thoughts about it. Okay. Let me first say this. I have seen a lot of reactions to this online, on social media. And I do believe that there's a lot of over-exaggeration going on. Okay. There's a lot, like, I don't care if it works, I'm for it. Right? The problem is I don't think it's gonna work. Right? That's my problem with it. If it works, I'm for it though. But let me first address the reactions. A lot of overreactions, a lot of, oh my God, the prestige of the Royal Rumble, and like that. You're still going to have the men's Royal Rumble. This does not impact it or affect it whatsoever. Okay, or should it? If it does, then there's a problem, right? I look forward to the Royal Rumble every year. Okay, and if there's a women's one, okay, fine. Um, but there's a lot of overreaction out there, a lot of outrage about this, particularly by a lot of male wrestling fans. I don't see what the big deal is. It's nothing to get out of everything wrong with professional wrestling. It's just not something to really get that upset about. That's just my opinion about that. But let me, you know, let me say this. Now, I haven't been watching the product that closely, but even then, the WWE is so predictable. I could kind of gauge what's going on just by watching the show once in a while, by watching reactions and reading spoilers and stuff like that. The WWE just doesn't have the depth in the women's side of things. It just doesn't. All right. It does not have that depth to do a Royal Rumble. I mean, are you going to do a 20 woman Royal Rumble? It just doesn't have it. All right. It just doesn't, you know, there's not enough women in the roster to be able to pull this off. Now, I do have some suggestions and even ideas of what they might do, and it will work. I don't have faith in this company to do this the right way. I don't have faith that they're going to do it. They're not even doing it right with the men's Royal Rumble. All right, they're not even doing it right in that department. So I'm having a little bit of an issue there. So it's not about the Royal Rumble now being It's not about women now participating in the Royal Rumble. It's not about that. I don't have an issue with that in particular. I have an issue with two things. One, I don't think the WWE is going to do it right. They didn't have a vision of this a year ago and say, you know what, we got to have women, and we have to do a women's Royal Rumble. Let's create a depth in the division. You know, let's have more women out there, and then that way, a year from now, a Royal Rumble will make sense. You know, they just kind of throw it out last second. You know, the second issue I have with this is this whole we're making history bullshit, right? This whole, you have the women heels and the women faces. You have women that have jumped the other women from behind. They should be hating each other. They should be standing. They should not even stand the sight of one another. But in this segment, you have them in the ring, all embracing one another because the Royal Rumble is now available to the women. This is manufactured, okay, history. You know, like this, we're gonna make history. Like it's manufactured. That's what this is. This is manufactured. So when it's manufactured like this, and it just comes off as being shoved down people's throats. That's what it comes off as. The company that's quote unquote making history should make the history and let the people say that you're making history. Let the media outlets say you're making history. Let the perception of that history being made be told by someone other than the people saying that they're making the history. Do that. And it's been like this. I mean, all fucking year it's been like this. Oh, we're going to do it one time. We're going to put women in the Royal Rumble. We're gonna put women in the Royal Rumble. Like okay, we're gonna make history. We're gonna put women in the Hell in a Cell. We're gonna make history. We're gonna have women, Money in the Bank, and it's always the same song and dance. All the women, the ones feuding against each other, that can't stand each other. When the segment happens, they break kayfabe. They get in the fucking ring, and then they start, crying and hugging each other and hugging and kissing and hugging and hugging and hugging and oh my godding, and we're making history together. OMG. It's been like this all fucking year. Instead of, just making a women's revolution, they keep telling people we're going to start a women's revolution. This is a women's revolution. Like, what? You have like 3-4 women in each roster. You don't have, it just doesn't have the depth that you need for your Royal Rumble. You just don't. Well, because you started 2 stables of like 4 women, all right, in each brand, all of a sudden. Now, they sat me down and said, hey, D-Style, we got to make this Royal Rumble work. What will you do? Well, of course, I'm going to have the women you already have. They got to be in the Rumble, right? I will do everything I can to bring back some old faces. I'll do everything I can to get Lita in the Royal Rumble because she would get a huge pop. Okay, Trish Stratus in the Royal Rumble. I'll try to get Ronda Rousey in the Royal Rumble. That's right. A lot of surprise entrants for sure. I would even go as far as to get women from the indie scene. I would. They're not going to win the Rumble anyway. But whatever it takes is what I would do. But who wins it? Who fucking knows? I mean, they're all over the place with this. Maybe Asuka should win, okay? But at the end of the day, I have a feeling that they're not going to get it right. Because they never get it right, right? I'm just having a hard time, grasping this. Is their heart in the right place? Is it really? I'm not too sure about that. All right? I've always been a firm believer that instead of giving the women what the men already have, you should be innovative and have the women do things that the men don't do. You would think, you would have to put some minds together to do something like that. But no, but they don't have that creativity. So in the end, I don't have anything against the idea of women having their own Royal Rumble. I don't believe they have the talent depth to do it. Okay? I don't think they have enough talent to pull it off. If you don't have enough talent to have elimination matches to earn a spot in the Women's Royal Rumble, then you don't have enough women. Okay? That's just the way it is. If everyone in the roster already gets a spot and you have to find other women outside of the main roster to make a Royal Rumble a possibility, then there is a problem right there. That's a problem. So in the end, I hope it works, but it's not going to work because the WWE never makes anything work. And you can tell because they came up with this concept like a month ago or 2 months ago. Like, you know what? We should have women have their own Royal Rumble. One, the Royal Rumble is a long match. I mean, how long is this pay-per-view going to be? I don't know if they thought about this, okay? I don't know if they thought about it. So apologies. So we're making history. We're going to make history. Like everything's about, oh, you're gonna make history, really. You know, I don't know if it's in the right, like stuff like this type of stuff. It really makes you question, because this is what the WWE does. Okay, whenever the fans are like, yo, we got to turn John Cena heel. We don't like John Cena. Turn him heel. Turn him heel. Turn him heel. Next thing you know, John Cena is introducing 5 women that have cancer. Okay, because they don't want John Cena to get booed on TV. Before you know it, during the broadcast, they're bragging about how John Cena, has so many Make-A-Wish, the record for Make-A-Wish, and and this is in the eve of people wanting the dude to turn into a bad guy. This is, they'll use troops, so this is for the sake of putting, quote unquote, the company over. This ain't a shoot, man. There's a lot of issues with this company. And that's why this thing ain't going to work. That's why the Cruiserweight division didn't work. All right? It didn't work because they don't want... The WWE does not know how to do things differently unless they're forced to. And nobody's forcing them right now. I mean, they're very comfortable with the way things are now. Everything's an excuse. If you say, hey, Vince, but your ratings are as low as they've ever been. WWE's ratings right now are lower than WCW's were, right? Okay, when they were getting beat and went out of business. That's embarrassing. So at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with the idea of a women's Royal Rumble. I have a problem with the fact that it's getting forced right now. If they were serious about it, they would start brainstorming right now to how can we make this Royal Rumble for the women work out, a year from now. What can we start doing in the women's roster to really start pushing? Like who can we start pushing? Who do we hypothetically want to put the title on come WrestleMania? Because everything is constantly about making history. And it's always with the women. That's why Sasha and fucking Charlotte are like 20-time, women's champions nowadays, because they were beating each other every fucking other week to make history. Oh, we made history. Women's title change hands in the main event of Raw. This is history. Shouldn't you say that for the pay-per-view? No, we're going to make history. Okay. I guess. We're going to make history, everybody. Let me see. I could let me pull this up really quick. By the way, guys are watching right now, thumbs up the video. TBO, do you really think WWE women's wrestling is about the art? Dude, it's about sex exploitation, he says. Quote unquote progress. I haven't watched WWE in many years, says Red Fox. After women gets injured in Hell in a Cell, they will forbid Hell in a Cell overall. They should make this tits rumble. Wow. Yes, Shabazi, this is legit. Red Fox put a... All right, put the link to that. All right. Feminist at its best. DStyle, says Red Fox. Shabazzi, of course, Stephanie McMahon would announce it. Fuck that bitch. Get ready for 10 hours of Royal Rumble. Holy shit. Might be the case. So, a lot of people aren't too excited about it. Look, let me say this. Speaking of Stephanie McMahon, right? About a couple months ago, ESPN had this like celebration of women achievements month or whatever. I forgot what the name was. I don't know if it was this year, last year, but Stephanie McMahon was invited to it, and there was because she was a head of creative in a power position, and she was being celebrated by ESPN. I hear a lot of people say they stopped watching wrestling years ago. Well, I forget the exact year. I believe it was like '02 or something like that, 2002, or maybe a little before that. Stephanie McMahon, all right, took over creative, and in that same interview bragged about what she did to quote unquote improve the product. Stephanie McMahon was never the best option available for creative ever. Stephanie McMahon it just happened to be in Vince McMahon's ball sack before he impregnated his wife, and that's the only reason. Okay, Stephanie McMahon became the head of creative. She was the daughter of Vince McMahon. All right, Stephanie McMahon was never the best option for that. She should have never been in charge of that, and she is the reason that the product is horrendous today. And that's not me, that's not because she's a woman. I'm just telling you the truth. The product has sucked since then. It is scripted like it is because of Stephanie McMahon. She never had any credentials to be the head of creative. She was just the daughter of Vince McMahon. Shane McMahon had other business ventures he wanted to get into, so he didn't do it. The product did not get better under Stephanie McMahon. But there she was in celebrating Women's Month, bragging about how she was given the opportunity to, she worked so hard for this opportunity and she earned it. Like, really? You're just the daughter of the dude that owns the company. Nobody's buying that. Oh, your mother, Linda, she was the CEO of the company. Oh, my mom worked so hard for that position. Really? She's the wife of the owner. Are you kidding me? At least be honest. At least say, yeah, I was a daughter. I understand that people were going to feel like I didn't earn it, and maybe I didn't. But I work hard every day to prove my position. Whatever. Okay. At least be honest. Now that ESPN bring this up, of course not. They wanted to celebrate women. Really? That's how you celebrate women? So you want to give women the impression that, oh, you're something when you're the daughter of the owner, then you could become CEO. When you're the daughter of the owner, then you'll be given a very powerful position in the company. That's a horrible message to send to all your daughters and nieces and sisters out there. That's a horrible message. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Stephanie McMahon and her creative ideas. You see, before there was two writers, two dudes, okay? And while they did write, they still allowed the talent, all right, to be themselves, okay? So Vince Russo, to give you one example, all right, would write a storyline, right? And in this storyline, there would be some gaps that the wrestlers had to fill in themselves, all right? It would be something like Austin cuts a promo in the ring, angry about such and such, and he challenges Bret Hart to a match, whatever it is, okay? That was basically what they wrote down. They didn't tell Austin word for word every single fucking thing you have to say. They would tell Austin you have 2 minutes on the mic. Get over. That's why The Rock became who he was. It was organic. That's why Stone Cold became who he was. It was organic. And it's called Monday Night Raw. There's nothing raw about this fucking show. Nothing raw about it. That shit's so packaged, it ain't even funny. That thing is so cooked, it's overcooked. Raw. There's nothing raw about Monday Night Raw. Nothing. They have to change that name. There's nothing organic about it. When Stephanie took over creative, she's the reason that there's 20 some odd writers, okay, writing the show. She's the reason. That's why a lot of shit doesn't make sense. That's why a lot of shit doesn't make sense. Because when one writer wrote, another writer wrote, and they put in storylines together, then it doesn't make sense. When is the last time you heard? When have like 10 writers wrote a bestseller book? When has that happened? That never happens. Ever. That's stupid. Why do you think these wrestlers say such cheesy shit? They go out there and they say the most cheesiest stuff, and it sounds so scripted. Why do you think that is? These dudes are told word for word what to say, how to walk, how to get in the ring, where to look, what to say. They have to rehearse this in front of Vince McMahon and Stephanie before they go out to the ring. I mean, this shit is it's stupid. That's not what Bret Hart did. That's not what Stone Cold did. That's not what The Rock did. Well, why are you having these dudes do this? And then you wonder why they have not created a megastar since Stone Cold and The Rock fucking left the company. Well, that's why. That's your fucking answer. That's your answer. Okay? You know, when The Rock was on TV, he would compete with the NFL. Okay, the NFL would go Monday night football, right? Did not like The Rock and Stone Cold being on TV. They took viewers away from them. Today, you can put whoever you want. You're gonna take away shit. Scripted, overly scripted nonsense. Wrestling has always been scripted, just like matches, right? I mean, you hear like a Bret Hart, he would say, for his match with Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13, I talked to Stone Cold. We had a general idea of what we were going to do. Like, we knew kind of in parts what we were going to do, but there was a lot of gaps we had to fill in. And we just, we worked it out when we were out there. It came off organic, and it's one of the best matches of all time. Nowadays, everything, it's insane how every single thing these wrestlers do, it's all from the fucking script. Everything. The cheesy shit they say, their jokes, the way they walk, the way they chew gum, that's just everything. And that's all thanks to Stephanie McMahon, right? She fucked it all up. And what did she say? Well, 20 minds is better than 2. Right. Not when you're writing the script, right? You see, you want to be able to have if you have 20 writers, but they're each in charge of like different segments, or you have one that's in charge of the cruiserweights, or one's in charge of the women specifically, one's in charge of the main event scene, or something like that, then maybe, but you don't need 20. That's fucking insane. That's crazy. Now, that's all I got to say about that. Sebastian says Triple H drove most of those Attitude Era fans to stop watching. Well, I mean, Triple H, man, I mean, I'll take him over some of these new dudes any day. He was Shane Douglas ripoff. Him and Sean did some real faggot suspect weirdo shit. The guy was a bum in the 90s and only became anything when Austin and The Rock took a step back. Many reasons. Unless he married Stephanie. Okay. Black Latino does not want to watch it unless they're naked. All right, Man in Water. Back when I was elementary, we would do surprise stunners on people. Well, there you go. Yeah, Red Fox and Shabazz. Yes, DX was definitely suspect this shit. In fact, you know what's funny is that like he wouldn't say it because probably he didn't want to come off as a homophobe, and but Bret Hart would get so pissed off with a lot of shit that they would do. And there was actually this one time. This was a shoot. And shoot means real, by the way. It means like off script, right? Sean was doing like this gesture where he was like sucking dick. I swear to God, it's disgusting. All right. And I guess Bret Hart got mad because there was like kids in the audience, right? And he went up to Vince and he told him, and you could hear it. He's like, "You're gonna fuck him, let him do that?" And then Vince just stayed quiet, and then he like got the headset off of Vince and told him again, "Are you gonna let him get away with that bullshit?" And then and then they went at it, man. Like they went at it. Owen and British Bulldog were trying to pull Bret Hart off or away, that is. And Bret Hart hated a lot of that shit. And but Vince, you know, for whatever reason, this DX thing was getting over. I was never a big fan of DX. I just wasn't. Right. Just a lot of weirdo, sexualized, homo-ish shit in that group, you know. In fact, I believe there's actually isn't there a promo out there where Bret Hart calls him a homo? Let me research that really quick. Where he says that they're acting like a bunch of homos. Look, oh yeah, I found it.
You're nothing but a degenerate. And I think I know, as the rest of the Hart Foundation knows, what the HHH stands for in HBK. You're nothing but a homo, and that guy there in the green shirt is nothing but a homo. Oh, I'm not clear. You may have barebacked your way to some kind of main event, one pay-per-view after another, but the fact is, I make more money than all three of you guys combined in the ring. And this here is what it's all about. And until you have this, I don't care what.
They didn't include that in the Monday Night Wars Bret Hart series. Yo, that would not happen today, bro. Like you would not get a wrestler calling any other wrestler a homo on fucking TV today. It just wouldn't happen in today's climate. But looking back, though, I mean, Bret Hart was right. You know, they were acting like a bunch of fucking homos. You know, you know what the HHH stands for. Now I don't know if I heard that right, but did Bret Hart say you may have barebacked your way into the main events? Man. I can't believe it, man. I could see why Bret didn't want to lose Sean too. I mean, holy shit. Yeah, they did a lot of this like, yeah, you guys are right. They did. The Kiss My Ass Club. Man. What is it back? Could you imagine the backlash that Bret Hart and the WWE would have if Bret Hart cut that promo today? You know, because I've been waiting for somebody to cut that promo on the fucking New Day, right? Because New Day is kind of like today's kind of DX, kind of, you know, in a way, in my opinion. Yeah, man, New Day is embarrassing, honestly. New Day is they're just embarrassing. You know, I don't know what else to say. What else you guys got? The NWO. Yeah, NWO wasn't doing any of this. Like I remember when wouldn't like Triple H get behind Shawn and do the suck it like thing? Like, oh, that's crazy. Horrible memories. DX. Let me see if I could play another promo here. Yeah, I can't really find. I can't find. I can't find anything right off the cuff, but there you go, guys. That's the all I got. Maybe we should listen to this one more time. An old-fashioned Bret Hart.
Say or what you think, but you will never, ever, ever be the showstopper until you take this thing away from me. You're not the first one to beat The Undertaker. You're just a little too late. You know, Shawn Michaels, the Click, and those other two guys that you got with you. Well, you know what? Your other boyfriend, Diesel and Razor, I ran those two guys out of town. And I'm going to run both of you out of town. And you know what? I'm going to start with that degenerate right beside you in the green shirt, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Tonight, I issue you a challenge to step in the ring with the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. Yeah, but do you want him to wrestle you tonight? The question is, do you want him to wrestle you? I want Hunter Hearst Helmsley because I don't need to wait. I don't need to come down there and take you right now. I've got you in the Survivor Series, and when that day comes, I'm going to kick your little scrawny ass.
Well, that didn't include that part, but anyway. Yeah, I agree, guys. I wasn't a big fan either.
I don't care what you say. You're nothing but a degenerate. And I think I know, as the rest of the Hart Foundation knows, what the HHH stands for in HBK. You're nothing but a homo, and that guy there in the green shirt is nothing but a homo. Oh, I'm no queer. You may have barebacked your way to some kind of main event, one pay-per-view after another, but the fact is, I make more money than all three of you guys combined in the ring. And this here is what it's all about.
Hey. Bunch of homos. Yeah, that's one of the reasons they script the wrestlers nowadays, because they might say something like this, right? But that was Raw, man. Yeah, they would go like it wouldn't be. I mean, Goldust was a gay wrestler, and because Vince wanted, that shock value. You gotta also like Vince created the Goldust character, and that was Vince's idea. Also, I don't know how many of you guys know this shit, but this is pretty bad. There was always a lot of rape allegations in the WWF back in the 80s. And Bruno Sammartino had talked about a lot of these things, stuff that he knew. So let's see if I can find it here.
Bruno Sammartino. A confused individual, probably suffering from dementia, but one with a great reputation.
You're quite good at this, you know that?
No, if you're asking me to give you,
that's very good.
you're just going to get,
They're good the way you take and you give, and I guess that.
He was an executive with WWF.
Well, no, he was I guess they promoted him to a ring. He in charge of ring crew. Plus, he became an announcer, ring announcer.
I see.
Pat Patterson, of course, everybody in the industry knows he's gay, and that's just fine. It's his prerogative. I mean, as far as being gay, I have no problem with that. There's Terry Garvin. But these people, there's been talk for a long time, and it's no secret that McMahon is trying to say that he's shocked by this all.
Okay, Bruno, were you ever approached? Did you ever see it happen?
Of course not. I'm one of the old
not. It must have been flagrant then, Bruno. I mean, you were one of the top stars in the WWF. Surely you must have performed some of these sexual acts that they're being alleged to get to where you were. Is that right?
Sure. No, I was with the organization before any of these characters were even around.
You just said that Mel Phillips was there. You just said Pat Patterson and Terry Garvin were there. Wait a minute. Come on, Bruno.
Anyways, for those that don't know what that means, that's Bruno Sammartino. He literally said, everybody knows Pat Patterson's gay. And he goes, well, I mean, if he's gay, that's his problem. But the allegation is that, if you wanted to move up the card, if you wanted to become somebody, you had to perform some, services. And there's always been people that believe that Shawn Michaels did some favors for Vince McMahon. And that could be one of the reasons he chose HBK over Bret Hart. I'm not saying that's true, but there's always been a lot of rumors in the industry about that. Did Shawn do some favors? I don't know, but every time Shawn would do these gay ass dances in the ring, I mean, Vince would always be like, "Oh, look at that! Oh yeah!" Like, it's just like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know what to say. Let's hear a little more of that.
That's going to happen. But just that. Anyone can always come to me. They've always been able to come to me and tell me if anything is out of line. So if any of your wrestlers could have come to you and said, there's a guy in the office coming on with me, absolutely. Notwithstanding the fact that I would not have wanted to have been that guy because any of my wrestlers would have broken his neck. I mean, you just don't do things like that. Bruno Sammartino, famed wrestler, former champion. He's in Pittsburgh. What do you make of all this, Bruno?
Well, first of all, it's Larry, it's ironic that people like Pat Patterson, Terry Garvin, Mel Phillips have all resigned. They've all resigned from this organization, supposedly, because I question that too. But as far as McMahon being so shocked and surprised at all this, we go way back, for example, when one of these people, this Mel Phillips, was, when we were doing a taping in Allentown or Hamburg, we're in a parking lot. There have been people who come forward who caught him with an 11-year-old boy having sex in a car. And this fella's had a reputation for many years. And not only has he remained with the organization, even though this was brought to the attention of the McMahons, but this guy's flourished because he's been with the organization for a lot of years till now.
He was an executive with WWF?
Well, no, he was with, I guess they promoted him to a ring, in charge of ring crew, plus he became an announcer, ring announcer.
I see.
Pat Patterson, of course, everybody in the industry knows he's gay, and that's just fine. It's his prerogative. I mean, as far as being gay, I have no problem with that. There's Terry Garvin. But these people...
So anyway, those are some harsh allegations. I don't know if any of that's true. That was what Bruno said. So apparently, according to Bruno Sammartino, all right, Vince McMahon kept a man employed that everyone knew was having sex with an 11-year-old boy. Okay, that is an astonishing revelation. This was in 1992 on Larry King Live. So there you go. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Somebody believes it? Well, who knows, man? Sick world out there. Hold on, before I go. Pat Patterson and the WWE Ring Boy scandal. What the hell is this? This is Roddy Piper.
Well, Pat Patterson doesn't like me.
Pat doesn't like you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
You know, since I was 15, I've been in this business. And when you're young in this business, it can be very difficult.
Were you forced to?
No, man, fuck that. No. It's just, it's a hard business.
You see it go on all the time, coming out of
Roddy Piper didn't want to say it. What the hell's going on? All right, anyway, you guys can go check that out if you want. Pat Patterson raped Roddy? Really? Wow. Is that why Roddy just randomly brought up, I've been in the business since I was 15? I just found that kind of random. Like, you don't like Pat Patterson? No. I mean, I've been in this business since I was 15. Like, okay. Well, I don't know. We'll never know, I guess. Anyways, guys, I'm out. Peace.